This playthrough is rated E10+.
Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare here with Let's End This. This time it's Battle Chef Brigade. Well, you know, I mean, if I did a video about playing it before, I mean, odds are I might have done it. Anyway, Battle Chef Brigade, about a girl who wants to become a Battle Brigadier, and she does it. Although this game does have a lot of twists, and obviously for this game, it's going to be spoilers for the game in general, so if you haven't played it yet, you know what to do. But anyway, the main character ends up becoming part of the Battle Chef Brigade, but they do a couple little twists in it. You know, like, you know she's gonna win, but in this case she gets disqualified early because she helps a friend who almost gets attacked. So there's that's a little bit of twist, but then she's reinstated because there's a national emergency that has to do with corrupted monsters and meat and stuff like that. And then, weirdly enough, she becomes a Battle Brigadier in Chapter 4. In Chapter 5, we play as the orc Thrash, who first meets the main character earlier. And we just play his story between her getting ejected from the tournament and then coming back. And we play a little side story with him, which was kind of odd. I assume the idea was the context to set up for Chapter 6, which is us dealing with the, you know, the national emergency and stuff like that. But let's see how long this chapter takes and if we can solve this mystery. Yeah, it didn't take me too long to get here. The game isn't that long overall. It's pretty quick if you know what you're doing. So let's see what our people who join the Battle Brigade, what their first tasks are going to be.
Okay, you're in. Congrats and all that, but we have bigger things to do.
For once, I agree with you, and I believe I have a solution.
Why didn't you say something earlier?
I wasn't sure until just before the ceremony, and thought it unwise to reveal anything in the presence of our fellow brigadiers.
What did you find?
A true cure. It doesn't just relieve the symptoms of those who ingest infected meat. It cures the corruption itself. I've already tested it on a variety of infected cells with a 100% success rate. The only thing I need now is a live test set.
We have to catch one of them long enough to give it the cure? Shite.
Maybe not. Jelly here has an affinity for monsters. As long as it's small, he can keep it docile.
We should set out immediately then.
But what about Rixel? Now that we're Brigadiers, we have to take him into custody.
We can't let him get away after all the destruction he's caused.
By the time Belgior and I arrived at his hideout, he was already gone. We couldn't find any clues as to where.
Deus Ex Ziggy to the rescue. He's in the Dark Realm. I've been taking strolls there since I followed you and Thorn through. Thought they might come in handy.
Just taking strolls in a dangerous, forbidden nether realm? Of course you were.
Thrash, you and I need to find him before he disappears again.
Agreed, but that leaves Kirin with...
Go. Neither of these missions can wait, and Ziggy has been helpful thus far. If we're to persevere, we must do it together.
Then let's get this done. For victory!
Sorry for cutting that early. Just getting a little button pressed. But apparently Ziggy is a necromantic skeleton. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's like his big twist, is that he didn't actually want to be in the Battle Brigade. He just did just to find new recipes and stuff like that. And yeah, he's just a skeleton who just wears a flesh-like spell or something like that to... Anyway. But yeah, so we're back as the main character again. Too bad they're not in their Battle Brigade outfits, but I guess they didn't want to draw the extra animations.
Let's talk.
Oh, I forgot they don't talk during this like little stroll scene right here. Oh yeah, I guess we're ready, but that's when we leave, so we're not ready to join the Dark Realm, go into the Dark Realm yet. Oh yeah, we don't have to do any of the restaurant or puzzle or hunt jobs. Although we can still shop for stuff, but I guess... Where'd all my money go? I had like 200 gold last time I was here. Yeah, man. Alright, anyway. Let's talk to Pentita here. I think I showed her during the first impressions video, the female dwarf. I think I showed it. I could. That was a while back. Anyway. Congratulations, Mina. It was my honor to serve as your judge. It's actually kind of surprising, some of the accents they use in this game. They use like, I've heard like Irish, Swedish accents, you know, and other such things. So this is a hodgepodge of people in this place. Thanks, Petita. I heard congratulations order for you, too. Yes, I suppose so. Caesar and I are as thick as a loop your stew. Maybe now he'll be less of a grouch. Yeah, during the course of the game, Caesar and... Well, actually, more Caesar, you just see him kind of like trying to hit on Petita, and then I guess at the end they finally become a couple, I guess. Well, girl, I didn't think you'd make it. Here I am now that I'm in the brigade. Are you going to talk to me more often? Don't push your luck. I'll take that as a yes. What is it with animes and like trying to force characters who like to keep to themselves or don't talk a lot to try to force them to stay with their friends and talk to themselves? Have you ever heard of antisocial people before? Or what's it? Or type B personalities? Or what is it? Forgot what it's called. Introverts, yeah. Introverts are like that. They don't like, well, not all introverts. There are some introverts that don't mind a little bit of company. But it's like, what's the concept? For an introvert, when you talk to someone, it can be very tiring. And so they have to recharge by being by themselves. So they can't do it for very long periods of time. There's people actually like that. So, I don't know. I'd like to see a story where they actually respect the characters who wants to be left alone or at least not talked to regularly, you know. Anyway, sorry. I was getting on tie right there. I gave your message to Dawn. Did you say anything? She asked if you were still here at the farm. I didn't have an answer for her. Well, she remembered something about me. Kind of. Yeah, Thorn the huntress. Wart. Yeah, that's his name, Wart. From the depths of Sea Squad, we've risen to the top like cream on milk. That already feels like a long time ago. What branch are you in, Wart? Research, baby. I'll be putting my professional baking skills to work. I can't wait to try what you create. He's one of the people who gets loses the tournament at first, but then during the nationwide crisis, he's allowed back in, and he wins enough competitions to be a part of the brigade. So, you know.
Hi.
We heard you're in the brigade now. Congratulations. Thanks. I could have done it without all your wares. A customer after our own heart. The twin-headed, I'm not sure, Eden, I guess? I don't know. Can't really buy anything because we don't have any money. I could have swore I had a lot of money before we switched to Thrash, but maybe I'm wrong. There's Teapot and Quetzal or whatever. Hello, best friend. Looks like we'll be ambassadors together. I've already told the committee how close we are. They've agreed to let us go on all our missions together. All our missions? Oh yes, perks of having tea with its members. No need to thank me. My assignments just got a lot more interesting. Oh yeah, the big robot is called Teapot. How original. And the Professor Belchior. Or Melchior. I haven't seen you since Chrono Trigger. No. Miss Hod, where do you ship off? I'm not sure yet, but with the ambassador, it's only a matter of time. Thank you for all your instruction, Belchior. I don't think I could have gotten in without it. My dear, I'm an instructor. I'm always happy to invigorate young minds. Well, that didn't sound creepy.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Guess I got a bit cold right now. Leonid, he really has nothing to add to the major story overall, other than he's a nice character. And one of the things about this game is you can actually challenge different chefs, and depending on the chefs you challenge, they'll give you a different item as a reward. And sometimes, I guess the challenge of doing this on different difficulties is decide who you want to challenge to get certain items from them. But since I was playing normal mode, it never really came up too much. Usually the stuff I bought was just as effective. Mina, I saw your final match. I knew you'd fight well, but that was spectacular. Thanks. I wish I could have seen yours, but I was so busy training. Don't mention it. We'll have plenty of time to test each other's skills now that we're in the brigade. Yeah, I look forward to it. There's the innkeeper who's blind. At the beginning of the game, he doesn't have his glasses, so he doesn't... Anyway. I have no authority to be proud of you, but I am. Thanks. I really enjoyed my stay here. You're welcome at the Regal Ward any time, Miss Hod. And there's random girl who helped out Thrash. I have no idea what her story significance is. I guess she's just a minor NPC.
Heya.
Hey, and stomach. You cut me in the registration line. Now you're gonna pay. Well, she sounds like... Actually, one of the story plots in this was there was one guy... It was a small plot. It didn't last very long. Was the guy you cut in line forces you to challenge him. And he ends up being a nice... he respects you after you beat him because it was his like last hurrah before he either won or lost the tournament, or his part of the tournament anyway. But I guess she got cut in line by her too. Not this again. Look, I'm sorry about that. Psych! That was a pretty sick move. Show it to me sometime as repayment. Deal. Yeah, she's just a... This is one of those games where it just has a lot of different types of characters, but they really don't do much to the plot. Not really. It's just to fill out the world, which is fine with that. What is my loadout out right now? Cookie jar. Yeah, we got all this stuff, but like I said, half the stuff I didn't even use. Oh, there it is. Whites. That's the guy who we cut in line. Yeah, if you quit this head thing, you can prevent knockout. Which knockout, what that does is you could keep going on when you're knocked out, but you lose like 30 seconds of time. It can actually be pretty dangerous depending on what difficulty you're on and stuff like that. Kirin gives you the winged boots. Someone else, yeah. Shiv, when you challenge her, she's the one who her actions caused you to get expelled the first time. Slow enemies. Ziggy, the necromancer, gives you a bottle cap. So, I mean, on the hard mode, there's probably a reason to kind of like mess with all this different stuff. But yeah, I didn't really do too much of it on the normal mode. Okay, take a deep breath. The air situation is a little weird when the portal is open. Oh yeah, Thresh is actually, his playthrough is easier because one, it didn't take too long. Two, is a little bit more, well, it's weird. It was humorous and sad at the same time because his wife was diagnosed with a deadly disease that would have killed her, but the whole plot of his is to cure her. But the people who took the hearts or took the ingredients for the cure were a crazy troop, and you had to like challenge all of them to cooking duels, obviously. So it was weirdly paced though, because it was one of those where she was gonna die very soon, but he's like, I gotta get there quickly. He's like, oh, we gotta make the medicine, but because of the hearts being stolen, the ingredients, it takes him like a week to make it and get back to her. And I'm like, shouldn't she have been dead already? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, his story had a little bit of a length continuity issue. I don't know. Maybe she was just too strong and held off until the disease. Oh, this is interesting.
So this is the Dark Realm? The whole place feels like it's in pain.
Yeah, I got chills from opening the portal.
Wait, are we ready for this? I mean, this man caused our friends and family so much pain. Not to mention the general population. I don't think I've ever been this angry.
I know, but don't get distracted. It's time to bring Rixel to justice. We're not here for revenge.
Rixel is apparently the one who might have hired...
Ziggy's directions don't make a lot of sense. Go left at the creepy statue? Everything's creepy in here.
Rixel works for the Brigade, and he was one of those guys that hired the troop to steal the ingredients for Thrash's medicine. Not to anything against Thrash. Apparently, it was just he just wanted the items. That's it. Like, it wasn't against the man himself, but and Rixel might have been the one who unleashed the plague that caused like people to get sick from the monster meat and stuff like that too. So.
Wait, I see it.
The only problem is Rixel's only like you run into him once on Thrash's campaign, but that's it. There's like no really good build up to him. I don't know. Kind of a weak. Even though he's done some nasty things, he's kind of a weak villain overall. I mean, we haven't beaten it yet, but you know.
And what, pray tell, is this?
Rixel, for your crimes against Victusia, you're obligated to stand trial in the Kitchen Coliseum.
By the power vested in us, by the Battle Chef Brigade.
We declare you under arrest.
Don't even think about trying to escape. You're cornered, old man.
So the Battle Brigade is like the police. The Battle Brigade is like a weird concept because it almost feels like they're supposed to be like the police and the army and like all this other stuff wrapped together. And whatever, it's a puzzle game where you cook stuff, so, you know.
Cornered, you say? We'll see about that.
He's getting away!
Uh-oh, he summoned the yokel or whatever it is. It's like a really nasty beast.
Handle the Yoku. I'll catch Rixel.
I mean, wait. But Thrash, weren't you the only one who was able to defeat the Yoku because of your Berserk ability? Whatever. But, yeah, it's I guess this is supposed to test all of our combat skills. I assume we're going to do, like, one last battle, like, chef battle or whatever. And then this is like one of our last like actual platforming combat scenes or whatever. Actually, would there really be any challenge for this? Because if I lose, right, wouldn't I just redo the fight again? I mean, well, I guess if you wanted to get the... There's like some trophies that deal with... Actually, this game doesn't have a lot of trophies. It's like 10 or something like that. Really, if you want to get the trophies in a first go-around, it's best to play this game on a hard mode. Actually, as far as I know, I haven't heard any issues with this game having trophy glitches. So, and one of them is not losing to any.
Ooh, I gotta start running more.
Running more, but you're like the most physically active and intimidating of all the characters in the game, and whatever. What was I gonna say now? Oh yeah, you need to not lose any battles in this game to get an achievement as well, which unfortunately I did lose to one person. It was in like, it's because the ingredients were weird and I couldn't get like, and obviously I probably didn't have the best loadout, but I don't know, I just couldn't get the points for like, I had to redo it like 4 times or something like that.
Leave me be, you oaf.
Come again?
Let's take him to Instructor Razzle.
Well, that was pretty easy. Well, I mean, this is a puzzle game, so it's not like we're supposed to be... Although we did technically fight a boss, like, really easily, too. And I doubt hard mode's really that much difficult. I bet hard mode's more challenging for when it comes to the actual cooking mechanic, which I assume we're going to have, like, one last cooking thing against
Kirin,
this guy.
Ziggy, did it work?
The mission was...
Quiet on the floor. The trial of Alchemist Rixel is now in session. Prosecution, you may present your evidence.
Instructor, this man hired bandits to steal my research and impeded our attempts to resolve the monster epidemic.
It's true. He gave us a payment in his coin purse. It says Rixel on the inside.
This thief must have stolen it from me as I stood here.
Wait, who writes their name on the inside of their, like, wallet and stuff like that?
That's not all. We discovered Rixel is to blame for the mutation in the first place. He poisoned the monsters on purpose.
Lies!
Silence! You'll be given time for your rebuttal. Mina, can you substantiate your claim?
Rixel recorded how he infected the monsters in these notes. Take a look for yourself. He used samples from the Dark Realm.
The old fool. To commit treason, then write it down.
I ran tests on the infected monster cells and confirmed Rixel's research was the cause of the mutation. I've brought samples for you to examine.
I see. The samples confirm your claim. Rixel, you are charged with theft, destruction of property, conspiracy, and treason. The punishment for these crimes is banishment from the Brigade, and a sanction upon your culinary power. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Instructor. I am appalled by these blatant falsehoods. Are you really going to take the word of these hooligans? The research they mentioned was stolen from a Brigade lab.
Curious that you never reported it missing. How do you explain the documents presented?
Instructor, please. I was only trying to end the true blight. I sought to cure monsters once and for all, but the committee only cared about his uninspired and broke.
It doesn't have to be like this, Rixel. We can put the past behind us and move forward. If only you'd let go.
I refuse to take advice from a hack like you, prattling away about perfect flavors when there's real work to be done. I'm twice the alchemist you'll ever be.
Rixel, since you've been unable to present compelling evidence to the contrary, I pronounce you guilty. You will never work as an alchemist again, and are forbidden from all culinary experimentation.
No! Alchemy is my lifeblood. I demand a trial by cooking.
A trial by cooking?
Brigade law dictates that anyone accused of a crime may request it. The severity of Rixel's crimes only make him eligible for a reduced sentence. He won't get away.
Yeah, it's like a trial by combat. That used to be a thing for back in the old days in Europe and stuff like that for quite a long time. I think the last time trial by combat, at least in America, was ever presented was like, I think in like the 1920s or 30s or something like that, because it was technically in the rule books. But like shortly after that occurred, they wiped it because they finally, because the guy pointed it out. You know, the guy wanted to get away from. I forgot what the crime he committed was, but he found that out. So anyway.
By order of the Battle Chef Brigade, we will honor your appeal and commence the trial by cooking. Prosecution, who do you name as your champion?
It's all you, Blue Jay.
Of course it's her. Not Thrash, even though we just played his chapter and he's more entertaining to play at in the combat section, but, you know, she is the main character, so.
But
Mina, you're the most focused, talented chef I know. If anyone can defeat Rixel, it's you.
Why don't you fill her head with more air, why don't you?
to never practice alchemy again, though? I know he made bad decisions, but didn't he try to do something noble? I don't know what I'd do if I couldn't cook.
I know what he said, and I know he means it. You still can't let him win. Trust me, Mina. He'll hurt more people than you can imagine.
I trust you. All of you. Instructor, I'll face him.
Very well. If Mina wins, Rixel will be convicted and forever banned from alchemy. If Rixel prevails, however, he'll be allowed to continue alchemy under the strict supervision of a brigade veteran, but may only cook with dull pots and pans. The rules are the same as ever. Provide each of our judges the best cuisine, but this time, the extent of Rixel's conviction is on the line.
So dull pots and pans for the rest of your days. Oh god, no, even though they cook just as well. No, there's a difference between different types of metal and pans and stuff like that, but it's like, I don't know. I was gonna have a joke there
I've
somewhere.
assembled our top judges, Maridane, Hasjil, and Akebo, to sit in judgment for this trial.
Where's the other guy who always like did the like the head of the group or whatever? The funny thing about him is he always changed his outfit every single time he judged, or well, I guess he wasn't technically a judge, he was like the moderator or whatever, but he always changed his outfit. I always thought that was funny, because usually games like these, like especially anime titles, they almost never change their outfit, because that means having to draw like a whole new, set of character animations and stuff like that, so it's just easier to stick with the same outfit, at least for multiple seasons anyway, but anyway. So we got one of each.
The theme ingredient
element.
for this match represents the many threads that brought you here.
Sure it does, lady.
Hydra!
Yeah, she wants to kill a Hydra. Hydra is one of those you have to do something specific to get them to sprout, and only one of them sprouts. So, oh well. Well, at least the main Hydra, not like his small tentacles or whatever.
Chefs, begin!
Okay, so we need to get a Hydra, but technically, since the Hydra tail or whatever that thing on the far right end is part of the meal, we only need to put one of those in each of the meals to consider it being part of the theme. If they're not in there, you lose quite a bit of points. There actually is a trophy for winning a competition without using the theme, which is possible to do. You just have to get either really high quality meat or stick like a ton of ingredients into the pan in the first place and take advantage of combos and stuff like that. But anyway. Alright, well, let's see if we can do this the first time or not. If not, I'll skip to a successful one. They give you a decent amount of time, 10 minutes, so that's usually what I do is I try to, like, get, like, some quick, early items and stuff like that for, storing them purposes. Because you can store as, well, you can only carry so much by your satchel there. You only carry so much at once, however, you can gain, like, a ton of, like, ingredients, like stacking them in the thing. Unfortunately, I don't have a pot that, well, actually, hold on a second. I think I only have the standard pots. That one, oh yeah, I don't have one that lets you, there's pots you can buy that like give you gems if you just leave stuff in there, but I don't have this on her build. Thrash did, Thrash automatically came with some on his build, so it was a little bit easier to do with him, because his was would give you extra gems. That's what they call those, like little sections in the puzzle thing. You get more gems from red gems than anything. So it was a good idea to like grab a couple of red items or whatever, start cooking up the red gems so they could start stacking up and then just work on grinding. But unfortunately, since I don't have that, I'll have to. I think I do have a mod that does that. I think with the main character, but I'm not quite sure. I need to start getting some. Really, the biggest time on this is going to be. Really, the big time waste is going to be me just putting stuff together and. Yeah, also would have been easier to do Thrash because Thrash has an ability called Berserk. And he can do more damage and fight quicker. So I kind of wish we were playing as him. Not to be mean to Blue Jay over here, you know, but it would have been nice. Oh yeah, this is the area I told you where I had trouble getting like enough points for the same. But I feel like now that I'm a bit more aware of the mechanics and everything with that, I think I can do it without worry. So wait. And luckily, this area almost never got knocked out. It was the one place I got knocked out the most is when you fight the dragon, and that's like in the main area of the first part of the game is where you. Actually, I don't even think any more Hydra bodies pop up anymore after this. So I basically grinded up as much Hydra stuff as I can. So that might be enough, but I'll do one more grind and then we'll deal with.
Had enough yet, girl? You'll never defeat a master alchemist like me.
Master alchemist. Yep, we're planning to destroy his livelihood. The main character ruining people's lives since I don't know something. Okay, that's probably not enough ingredients, but it'll work. I'm trying to decide if I want to just put all of them into one bowl or not. So, all right. Well, anyway, let's. Yeah, we could just do one where it's just all Hydra next or whatever. So we got. Okay, so. Let's do a couple here, and then we'll get a. No, don't waste don't want to waste this wild gem on something like this anyway. All right. What do I want to make? I think I'll try. Oh nope. Take advantage of that combo. Let me do. I think I'm gonna go for fire, dude. First, I think. Oh yeah, I can. Actually, since I've set that in there, I'm gonna put this in here. Restore those. Okay, so we'll do Earth. Now I'll mess with Earth on here. So I need to drop. A Hydra just neck just because. It was in Earth. Let's see. Oops, dang it. There we go. Oh yeah, we don't want to have a we don't want to have poison in this thing because it'll dock points when you do that. I noticed when I did this, I was able to, if I used like a bunch of foreign caps, it was usually a bit easier to, the only problem is, well, this gives you a lot of green things, but the problem is that it's not a very costly, item, or not item, the ingredients aren't very expensive, or whatever, for point-wise, so I definitely need to put something else in there as well, just to make up for it. Like some other item that'll work as well. Oh, I should have dropped that in another spot. Which piece was it that Hydra ones? Do this.
Why try to stop me? I want to destroy the Blight as much as you
that's
do.
the Earth one.
Are we really
I'm
so
trying to decide.
different?
Or
Look at what you're willing to do,
right.
stuff.
I got started up.
Stole from the brigade. Lied to your
Okay, this one, I guess it's water because I've got a water engine already. That was supposed to be earth, so I guess I'll do the fire one now.
For the greater good.
Drop
Did them to save lives, now
hydro
and in
one
the
in there.
future. We would never sacrifice the present for tomorrow, and we'll never stop fighting for the people who need us.
Hydro neck. Might as well just drop all the really good ones in here, so that way we can. Alright. Oh, crap. I'll have to repair this. Okay, that one's gonna be fire. This one's gonna be green. I just have to kind of keep aware of what colors I'm doing because I'm gonna take advantage of like sauces to try and mixed. Oops. Dang it, my skills of my skills of merging stuff together is not very efficient. Let me tell you. White, red, green. Oh wait, I can turn that into a. I'm also really bad about using combos. Like, I don't utilize those as well as I should be. That's why I'm probably glad I'm playing on this mode, or easy mode. There we go. Because otherwise I would have a lot of trouble with this. So I need to take advantage of I'm trying to get both the fires up there, but crap. So that's green, so I need to I'm actually doing really, really bad at this. Crap. This is gonna suck. I might have to redo this one on off screen. Actually, I don't even think I have any blue sauces now that I think about it. Yeah, this is not gonna go very well. We'll probably have to redo this fight off screen.
The judges
we'll
will
see
now
what happens.
decide Rixel's fate.
But yeah, I feel like I didn't do a very good job. Yeah, I'm not very. Sometimes I get I hit the right notes, and then other times I don't. But I feel like we're gonna lose to this guy, so I might have to just do a show me winning after this though, and just cut to it. Oh, and the way
Wow.
the way that the things look is based off, I think it's based off of the first set of ingredients that you put in there, and then it kind of shapes what the thing's actually going to look like. So depending on what you throw in there first. And the way I've been playing throughout the game, I tended to throw the same things in. So I'd have like the same like recipe every time. It would just be obviously different points depending on what else I threw in there. So, oh, that's already, I think what I need to do is I think I need to change my loadout and try to change like either spices or those cookbooks, because the cookbooks in your inventory can affect, if you hit certain stipulations, you get an extra set of points because you hit this objective, which one of them is, the ones I've got equipped are either using all ingredients of the creature or using a spice in the thing, which I did that for 2 of them, so they'll give me some extra points. But yeah, you can already tell I'm not doing well because most of my meals, like 150 or something like that. So I forgot he didn't actually talk. Exactly like the festivals. You've managed to nail the smokiness too. Yeah, that was pretty good points. I'm probably gonna lose.
The flavor, it's outstanding.
Hydrastein rounds, topped with Hydroneck and Hydrofin assortment. Oh yeah, I've only got, yeah, and that guy had like 260 or something like that. I'm tasting the fiery perfection I was looking for. Breathtaking, you certainly have my vote. Yeah, I didn't get it because I didn't have a, wait, didn't I spice that one though? Shouldn't I have gotten extra points? Lantern fruit babao fan, topped with watery sauce and slime eggs assortment. Ugh, yeah, I didn't do very well on this. These herbal earthly flavors are exactly as I requested. You've managed to expertly combine your flavors in this dish. The clever twists and turns are as compelling as any novel. Looks like 250 seems to be the points I have to beat every time. Otherwise, I won't be able to win the final cooking of the game. Quarry cap stir fry with a side of hydroneck and lap lizard legs assortment. Ugh, yeah, I just didn't put too many ingredients in it. That's all. That's probably why I need to take more advantage of like combos and stuff like that. Earth is both pure and beautifully complex. Well done. Yeah, I did not get the points for this. Especially the water one. I sucked at that one. Hydra stew, served with quarry cap and slime core assortment. Beautifully hydrated. The water is a nice antidote to this summery day. He didn't even get much of a negative for having poison in there. Unless he has some item that gives him like some bonus. But there was like no negative. Oh, there we go. Okay. Did you track your ingredients before cooking them? Something in here is poisonous. Thanks. Thanks for giving me that little bit. And yet, well, how much did mine was? It was like 120 or something like that. Steamed hydro rolls with a side of lantern fruit and candle gourd medley. Right. Oh, it was 100. Sorry. You adapted well. The water brings a freshness without adding unnecessary density. Your perfect interpretation. My only complaint is that it's a bit oversalted. Yeah, I did not win. I did poorly.
By the power vested in me by the Brigade Committee, poorly. I shall now declare a winner.
I wonder who won.
Rixel has successfully mitigated his punishment.
The only problem with this game is that unless you know for sure you're going to lose, you can't, like, you know, for the achievement for like never losing to your opponent, there's no, like, you can't load back to an old save file because it auto saves every major event. So, oh well. Yeah, he beat me by quite a bit. So, yeah, you can't even. I kind of wish they'd given us an alternate ending, see what happens when he loses, but no, or when he wins, but nope, it's just you got to win, so rematch. So, yeah, I'm not going to record. I'm not going to show you me doing that all over again. I'm just going to show you the results of a winning combination. So I'll see you back whenever I actually win this thing.
The flavor, it's outstanding. Delicious.
Positively superb. Oh, quite delicious.
A delicacy. Lovely.
By the power vested in me by the Brigade Committee, I shall now declare a winner. Mina wins the match!
Yay! I finally did it. It only took me 4 tries. Probably should have done it the first time. Really what I did is I just put all the cookbooks I currently had, which was the every ingredient of the required of the picked ingredient, which is all the parts. When they show a picture of the creature and then all the intestines or whatever, you have to get each one of those into the stew to get the bonus on that, which gives you like a plus 50. Then the one where there's one where it's called like Journeyman, where you get one of a level 3 taste gem, one of each color in the thing. I think that gives you 25. And then there's one where if you put every ingredient of every creature in the area into one stew, it gives you a plus 50, but I didn't get that on all of them. But I was able to like maximize the green gem one, and that's how I won. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I probably could have done it the first try, but I was just, yeah, anyway.
All right.
Better to show the results of my actions than show me do it. I mean, it was just basically me just trying to figure out the best way to do it. I noticed the lantern gems give you a decent amount the first time you put them in, and you just put them in the oven that fixes the fragile. Oh yeah, fragile taste gems are gems that have like cracks in them.
I strip you of all stations and titles. You are hereby banished from the Brigade and its satellite institutions.
It was part of the what happened to like all the ingredients and the animal creatures that they cause the gems, or it's like the breaking down of the item, or taste buds or whatever you want to call it. So anyway.
Oh no! You can't do this to me! I bet your so-called peacekeepers didn't even tell you the worst of their crimes. They repeatedly went into the Dark Realm.
I suppose it's fortuitous they aren't the ones on trial then. You were given your last opportunity to prove yourself worthy in the Brigade's eyes. You failed. Take him away. You four are in enormous trouble. Breaking into our lab, trespassing in the Dark Realm, what were you thinking?
Let me guess, they're going to get off scot-free because they saved the day or whatever, but they're not going to get punished for their actions. That's usually typical.
We had to act, Instructor. Rixel would still be loose if we hadn't done something.
Mina Han, I'm surprised at you. Did you learn nothing from your expulsion?
Hold on. The only gravedigger here should be me. I'm the one who broke into the lab and discovered Rixel's whereabouts.
Not happening, man. We all did this together, Instructor.
I'm sorry we broke the rules, but I stand by what we did.
And you, Kirin?
I found a cure for the mutation. One that will heal the monsters, protect our town, save our people's lives. We couldn't have done that waiting around for Brigade approval. Do what you must.
So basically, red tape bullcrap is what is what stopped us from saving the day originally. So we had to break through that tape. Was it a knock on bureaucracy? Bureaucracy in a lot of cases can be a bit unwieldy.
You found it? Instructor, I beg you for clemency. It would be absolute folly to toss such talented youngsters aside.
And your request shall be granted.
Common. I know they meant well, but they broke fundamental Brigade laws.
There's Common, the guy who keeps dressing up every time that he moderates a cooking thing.
You once told me that leadership wasn't about perfection, but how we deal with our imperfections. Their decisions were flawed, but they've contributed more to Victusia than most of our veterans. All Rixel had to show for his secretive work was an epidemic and countless sick.
How my words come back to haunt me. You're right, Common. You're all on janitorial duty for the next week, and then you will receive commendations for exquisite service.
As for you, Siegfried, I'd like to apologize for the committee's distrust. You may not have finished the tournament, but I name you an honorary Brigadier.
Oh, you're killing me! Wait, you're serious? Thanks.
For now, we have a cure to administer. We'll make the preparations. You three meet us back at headquarters.
Well, guys, it's been corporeal, but I have to leave.
leaving. But we just brought a mad alchemist to justice. You're not even gonna stay for a meal?
I completed my task here. It's time for me to go.
Where will you go?
To hell if I don't change my ways. Hamburger, you're the best. You believed in me when nobody did and made all this possible.
Wait, Hamburger? Is that what he calls me or whatever? Ziggy was probably my favorite character in the game out of all the characters. Well, one, he's the one that other than obviously the other three, you interact with him more. The other characters that like look interesting, you only interact with them like once and that's it. Once or twice, but that's the most. So.
What? I wasn't even here for part of the tournament.
He's right, Blue. You got us all together.
We wouldn't have caught Rixel if you'd stayed in Windy Village.
Thank you. All of you mean so much to me.
Well, that's all the time I have.
He's really gone.
Well, like I said, he's a skeleton undead thing, so who knows what he's up to.
Oh, and Thrash. When Lupus starts dating that fisherman's son, go easy on him. It's gonna be fine.
Apparently he can see the future, too.
Wait, what is that?
Lupa is like his daughter, I think? Thrash's daughter, I mean.
Bye!
But she's like 2 or something like that right now, so.
Goodbye, Ziggy.
There goes the strangest guy we'll ever meet.
I wouldn't be so sure. Odd things tend to flock to us.
Well, since they haven't made a sequel, I was going to say something, but never mind. Let's just let the game end.
And we'll be ready for them.
And so, with the help of our bravest chefs, we administered the monster cure across Victusia. Mina, Thrash, and Kirin received their commendations, and a feast was held in their honor. The three friends spent every possible moment together, until the time came for them to part ways. Kirin joined the research branch, and stayed in Brigade Town as Belchior's assistant, though in time she would surpass even him. Thrash swore to protect and provide in our military branch, and set out for home. His village has never been happier or better fed. Mina followed her dreams of travel into our ambassador branch. Now she treks across Victusia, teaching our ways to the populace and learning new crafts from them. As for Ziggy, no one has heard from him since the day of the trial, but brigadiers across Victusia tell stories of a skeletal figure and his ghostly companion, passing through their camps at night, always smiling. That, I'm afraid, is where our story ends. But fret not, for Victusia is always in need of chefs with the strength of the tides, the flames of curiosity, and the endurance of the earth. We may yet meet again.
Well, and thus the game is completed. Let's see if there's any credits or anything afterwards, and I can talk about the game then. Up, and that's it. Trinket Studios, Battle Chef Brigade. Overall, I'd have to say it's not a bad game. I could see why the game got decent scores from most places for the most part. Like, not a perfect game or anything like that, because it is very niche. Obviously, a puzzle game with bits of platforming and combat, although that's kind of minor, really, when you think about it. It's just one aspect of the battle part of the game. I would say I liked it, but I don't know if I would buy it or keep it for my own or part of a collection. There's something about the game, and it's not because it's a puzzle game. I feel like I feel like there's a few things lacking in the game, and I'm not sure what it is to really tell you the truth. Now, there is replayability in this game, from what you can tell. Like, one, there's the hard difficulty, and two, defeating different chefs during the tournament part and getting unique items from them that might help you at later parts of the game. Like, if you beat Kirin, if you challenge Kirin to a duel, she gives you the double jump shoes, which help with platforming for a bit, maybe save you on some time, and so forth and so on. But I feel like maybe it was maybe the puzzle mechanic could have been worked on a bit better. I'm not sure, because I feel like there's something slightly missing. Oh, voice actor. Let me see if any of these look familiar. So far, nothing's coming. Ben sounds kind of maybe. Oh, Chris Niosi. He's a YouTuber. Yeah, who did like comics and stuff, or cartoons and stuff like that. I think I remember hearing about him doing voice acting. I think he's also the voice of he does a voice of a guy in Mob Psycho 100, like the fake psychic or whatever. Yeah, I think so. I think that is the same guy if I'm thinking of it right. But yeah, let me see. Well, I think that, okay, so Adult Swim games? Huh. Although I've heard Adult Swim is in the same place as it used to be, but that's kind of interesting. Well, okay, let me go over it. The story, I think, was pretty standard fare for, like, you know, Battle Chef. You have to, like, go against people and become the best chef type of thing. Although there are, it takes some little twists in there to make it slightly different. You know, the main character actually gets expelled at first because she hurt another contestant or whatever, trying to save someone, or help them anyway, and then she ends up coming back and ends up saving the day. So that was a nice little twist instead of her just instantly beating everyone and going through the tournament with like no hassle. So at least there's that. And then the little twist where you get to play as Thrash for a chapter. Too bad it was only for a chapter though. I almost feel like if the game was longer, I wonder if there would have been like a Mina a chapter, a Thrash chapter, and a Kirin chapter. It almost feels like it was building up to something like that because of the whole the three friends thing. And maybe in a fourth friend was Ziggy, but maybe they couldn't, go too far into it, or maybe that would drag out the game too much. Because then they would have to add new mechanics to the game for each character. They probably didn't have the time to do that. So I feel like, I don't know if I wanted the game to be longer per se, but maybe play as different characters. Maybe they all have their different type of cooking mechanics or something like that. I'm trying to think what else. Too bad there wasn't a way to make more money in this game, because all the stuff you have to get to, like customize your character, you have to buy, and you can only make so much money. So I guess there's a challenge there on. So this was a Kickstarter game. Okay, that's what. That makes sense. Just the presentation, the way it puts together, kind of makes me think it was like not like an official studio game, like an indie studio or something with that people put money into to work on it. So, and most of these credits are going to be just Kickstarters, so we can kind of ignore them for the most part, because depending on how much money they made or how many people donated, this might be a really long like credit sequence here. I'm trying to think, but music-wise, there wasn't really any like song or track in the game that really stood out to me. Even the credits are kind of just not to be anyone who made the music for this game or try to knock on them. It's just nothing's really sticking out to me. Even the credits kind of sound like that kind of generic like anime ending music. That's really not standing out. Character-wise, really, like I said, the only character I really liked was Ziggy, because he was just so weird. And Thrash to a lower extent, but and I really had no issue with Mina. It's just she's kind of your typical, female protagonist who wants more type of thing, but really nothing about her really. I mean, a lot of her character traits kind of borrow from other protagonists. Kind of like one who eats a whole lot, one who has a lot of energy, one who brings all these people together, kind of par for the course for a main protagonist. So, although for me, a lot of main protagonists, very rarely do I like a main protagonist like out of all the characters. I usually end up liking side characters more, depending on who it is, because either we don't get enough time with them, or there's just something about them that I like. It's the same in like anime. A lot of times I'll like the side characters more than the main dude or dudette, whoever is in it. But yeah, that was another thing about this game, the characters. Like, there's a lot of characters in it that look interesting, but I feel like that's all that is. They look interesting, but they're not actually interesting, if that makes sense. Well, there were actually the troop that you have to fight against as Thrash were kind of entertaining in their silliness. They were a troop that turned to thievery because their troop was doing bad, and they were hired by Rixel to steal stuff and whatnot. And then they with Thrash's like journey to trying to save his wife, they become troop members again. But anyway, a lot of the characters like look neat or whatever, but they don't. It's like not much to the story. Like, I feel like if this game was longer, maybe there would have been more characterization. Like, you know, like this world has like orcs, elves, dwarves, and all this other stuff. So, but there's no like, I don't know. They just like they didn't even hardly made up their own characters. They like just took from all these fantasies and threw them into there. But you know how in a lot of fantasy games when there's like different races, there's usually like the ones that join the main team or ones that are your friends. Usually the reason they do that in the game is to explain like about their culture in it. So you have a proxy in there to like ask them stuff or whatever. Like Thrash is an orc, and Kirin looks like she's like an angel creature. I don't know. She had wings, but there was like nothing came of that. We never really get, even when you randomly talk to NPCs over the course of the game, there's really no like, oh, I get to learn more about this world. Like, what are orcs like and all this other stuff. It's almost like every group of people is like the same. You know what I mean? Like, the orcs could have been just humans, and it wouldn't have changed anything other than their orcs and their different colors and everything like that. I guess it's the same like real life when you think about it. But like I said, usually in fantasy games, the reason there's different races is because they're so different from each other that you want to know about that culture, that they're not the same as humans. But like I said, a lot of these races were basically just, you could have made them human and it wouldn't have changed much about the story of the world. Not really. So it looked like the presentation looked good, but there wasn't really much behind the scenes of the world. Like, I don't care much about this world outside the gameplay and the mechanics. You know, I don't want to explore the rest of this world. I don't care. You know, it's not that interesting. You think a whole world that's based off cooking, and that their army is based off battle chefs would be interesting, but I don't find it interesting outside of the gameplay. You know, outside of it being a puzzle game. I know I'm probably knocking the game way too hard for what it is, and maybe it's just me kind of like just talking about like certain genres in general. But yeah, like, there was no reason for all these different races other than they looked neat, but that was it. They looked different. Like, there was like the girl chef with the mechanical man. What's their story? What else with that? Are there other mechanical machines and everything like that? I mean, the only little bits you get are from talking to her and the moderator when you challenge her to a duel. There's a little bit of detail about her, but that's it. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's like covering over. It's like putting sprinkles on something that's not as good as it should be. Like dried parsley, you put some sugar on that, and you're like, here you go. So, but I guess I shouldn't knock the game too much. Like I said, the gameplay worked, the puzzle, the platforming mechanics, the hitboxes for the most cases, I don't remember having any issue with those. And the puzzles, like, I mean, the mechanics were explained to me. I know how to do it. If I didn't get good scores because I wasn't really paying attention, maybe the game, if the game explained an ingredient like stronger ingredients and stuff like that, maybe like that. There wasn't really a good explanation other than trial and error, which I guess is fine. I mean, it's, you know, it's a puzzle game, you choose whatever. But I'd always end up like having like putting a lot of stuff in a pot and end up only having like 100 points, you know, and barely beating like the guy or the person I was like challenging or whatever. Trying to think what else. Characters, gameplay, story. I said story is pretty straightforward. I mean, like I said, there were some twists in there, but nothing too crazy that you couldn't have seen coming. And I don't mind people using tropes and that type of storytelling, because a lot of non-applicable Kickstarters. You'd think you'd want your name in the credits, but there were probably people that just didn't respond to the surveys or whatever. I actually have my actual real name is actually in a couple of games. that have been released, because like years ago I used to kickstart like a bunch of stuff. I stopped doing that years ago because well, actually I got pretty lucky. Only like 4 or 5 projects I kickstarted ended up just disbanding, or nothing happened with it, or they're still being worked on. Most of the other stuff actually did get released, but most of the stuff I only put like $1 or $2 just to say, hey, here, try to make this game or whatever. But I stopped doing it after like I heard too many stories about so many projects just kind of crumbling, and I'm like, I better not put all my eggs in any major baskets anymore, or if I do, don't put a lot of money into it. So if it crashes and burns, then you weren't out too much money. Man, I guess that makes me think of how investors feel when certain companies don't do very well. Would I like to see, I guess the question would be, would I like to see a sequel to this game? I mean, I never want something not to be made, and it's not like it's my decision. It's just, I like this game, but it didn't intrigue me enough to like, oh man, I can't wait for a sequel to this one if they ever make one. So if they make one, cool. But it's not something I desperately want to see. Although, at my age and how many games I've played, there's very rarely any games I like super psyched on or ready to play again or whatever. Only a few rare circumstances, and people would find it weird if I told you what I look forward to. But, I mean, I don't know if this is the first time effort for these game creators who made this game. If it is a first time effort, I mean, good job overall. Like I said, I had some complaints, but that was mainly story and characterization more than anything. I mean, in the end, what's really important is gameplay. It's a game. If the gameplay sucks, then you've got nothing else. It could be the greatest story in the world, but if the gameplay is terrible, then, there's nothing to it, And you're probably thinking, isn't it good to have a good combination of all of them? Well, yeah, of course it is, but gameplay should always come first before anything else, and that's what worked. That's what was important to it. So, yeah. So, hope you enjoyed this finish of this game, and if you ended up liking the game, hopefully it gave you a reason to purchase the game, or if you didn't like what you saw, then it saved you a few bucks down the line. So, I guess I'll let the rest of the credits roll. If there's anything left after this, I'll leave it on. If not, I'll see you next time. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.